I present to you the tale of Damned City. There lived a beggar in a village. He was very intelligent and an expert at the begging. He had a completely stupid disciple. He had learned the way of begging from his teacher. Both of them had no close relatives in this world, so both of them lived together. The beggar had become very old, while his disciple was very young. One day, by God's will, a flood struck their village. The houses, made of mud, were washed away, including their own. The entire village was devastated. They decided to leave and bid farewell to the place they had called home for so long. Tears filled their eyes as they looked back at their village for the last time, remembering the days spent there. After taking leave from that village, they started walking in a straight line. Both were talking to each other. While walking, the sun was about to set when they saw signs of a city. "Congratulations, teacher, at last we have reached the city." "Thank God," the old man said. Both started walking fast. They wanted to reach the city before the sun sets, so that they could get something to eat and drink. Both of them entered the city when the sun was setting. "Teacher, I don't have the courage to take even one step. For God's sake, arrange some food." The disciple said after falling down breathlessly, "Okay, you stay here, I will bring food from someone's house." The old man said and went away. Soon he brought some bread and curry. They ate patiently, thanked God, drank water from a well, and slept under a tree. It was morning. So they made a proper plan to beg. Both of them went out and kept begging all day. When evening came, they returned to their place. It was a dense tree, they slept under it at night too. In morning the old man said, "Now that we've saved some money, let's buy the things we need from the market. We can build a small hut in the jungle and cook our own food." "Okay, teacher, I will bring it right now," the disciple said happily and went away with the money. As he reached the bustling market, he thought of buying sweets since he hadn't eaten any in days. Approaching a sweet shop, he asked, "Brother, what's the price of these sweets?" "1 penny for a kilogram," the shopkeeper replied. "What did you say? 1 penny for a kilogram?" "Yes," the shopkeeper confirmed. The disciple was astonished. "And what's the price of vegetables?" "Everything is 1 penny per kilogram," the shopkeeper said. "Well then, mix 1 kilogram of sweets and give it to me." The disciple was surprised, and leaving everything he ran to his teacher. The teacher saw him running in his direction, asked, "What is the matter? Why are you running? And what is this you are carrying? Only an envelope? You had to bring so many things." "Teacher, it was fun," the disciple said happily. "What happened?" the old man asked. "Teacher, in this city everything is sold for penny. Look here, this is a 1 kilogram sweets for only 1 penny. Honey, butter, pulses, vegetables, everything is for 1 penny. It will be fun here to eat and drink a lot. Teacher, now we will stay here all our life here." Teacher remained silent after listening to his words. No words came out of his mouth. "What is it, teacher, you are not happy?" "No, son, I am not happy to hear this, but why, teacher? Now we will buy good things for a penny and eat. No need to cook anything, we will buy it from the market and eat it." "You are a fool, it is not right to stay here," teacher said worriedly. "What are you saying, teacher? I will never go from here. Where will we have more fun than this? Can there be a place where everything is sold for a penny per kg? That is why I am saying that it is not right to stay here. This is a doomed city. No matter what you say, teacher, I will not leave this place." "If I don't stay here," teacher asked, "even then I will stay here, but I say you also should not go. We will spend the rest of life in comfort and luxury." "I cannot stay here," teacher also insisted. Well, both of them ate sweets and went to sleep. When morning came, teacher got up and stood up. "Where are you going, teacher?" the disciple asked. "I had told you that I can't stay here, so are you leaving right now and at this time?" "Yes, I am afraid of staying here." "Agree on, teacher, don't go from here. You will not be able to enjoy as much anywhere in the world as you can here, and if you don't want to stay, then enjoy for 2 to 4 days at least." "No, I have stayed only till the daybreak. Now I will not stay even for a minute." Teacher put his bag on his shoulder and left on the road going out of the city. "Wait, teacher, I will drop you outside the city." Saying this, the disciple also ran after him, and then both started walking together. The disciple said, "I am surprised, teacher. What is the fear in staying here? What is the danger for us? Our job is to beg. Why should we be afraid of anyone who can harm us? At this time you cannot understand these things of mine. But a day will come when you will remember my words. You will say that I wish I had listened to my teacher. I still tell you the same thing, come with me, do not get tempted." Disciple said, "I will stay at this place." "Well then listen to me once, if you ever get caught in some trouble, then definitely remember your teacher in your heart. It is possible that nature may send me to help you. You are worrying for no reason. Teacher, I have no trouble here, no trouble will break upon me. I am telling you for the last time, come with me," teacher said in despair, "and now. I am also saying for the last time, I will stay here," the disciple said in a firm tone. He made a hut of grass for himself and started living in it happily. He was free from every worry. He would wake up in the morning and go out to beg, and when he got 2 or 4 pennies in his hands were more than he needed, because he could get everything for a penny. Content, and thinking his teacher was a fool, he used to laugh a lot and say, "I wish my teacher had not left from here." Now he had no work to do. Many days he did not even go to beg, and he stayed in the hut. There used to be a pile of eatables and drinks. He used to eat a lot of them and laugh a lot. Being free from all worries and eating a lot and not doing any hard work, his body started becoming fat, and he used to be very happy to see his fat body and used to eat even more. Gradually his body started swelling, and he became so fat that now he could hardly even walk. When the money started running out, he used to go to the market and sit in some corner. The people of the city, laughingly at his obesity, would give him something or the other, with which he would then buy things according to the money and store them in the hut and start eating. Now this was his life, and his obesity was increasing day by day. Now listen to the condition of the king of this country. One day he was sitting on his throne. The court was in session, all the courtiers were present, when a man was caught and brought in front of him. The king asked, "Who is this man?" "Greetings, your majesty, this man has been caught from the market." "What was he doing in the market, your majesty?" "He has picked the pocket of a man." "Where is the man whose pocket has been picked?" The king asked, "Is that man present?" The soldier said, "Yes, he is outside." The king said, "Present him." The man was presented in the court. The king asked him, "Did this man pick your pocket?" "Yes." He said happily, "Why did you let him pick your pocket?" The king growled and asked, "Yes, that man got scared. You will be punished for your negligence. Release the pickpocket, because he was only doing his duty to make people careful and catch him. Why did he let his pocket get picked? Tomorrow morning he should be hanged at the city square." On hearing the king's order, the pickpocket was released, and the man whose pocket was picked was caught. The next day there was no space at the crossroad. This innocent man was brought to the crossroad bound in chains. The poor man was shivering, and the number of people was increasing every moment. After a very long time, the king arrived. The king stood on a high place, and he signaled that he should be hanged. The executioner moved forward. He put the noose around the man's neck, but the noose was brought, and that man was very thin. The executioner did not have enough sense to the nooses strings tighten him, and he is surprised and troubled. Sometimes he looks at the noose and sometimes at the man's neck. "What is the matter? Why don't you hang him?" The king said in a fit of anger, "My lord, the noose is loose and his neck is thin. Now how should I hang him?" When the king heard this, he was lost in thought. His ministers and nobles were troubled. All of them started thinking how to hang him, but no one understood that the string of the noose could be tightened and he could be hanged. When no one understood anything, the king said, "You all are absolutely stupid donkeys who cannot even think of such a simple thing, that if the noose does not fit around this man's neck, then leave him and hang the one whoever's neck fits in the city. But before hanging, we must be informed, because we want to see this spectacle with our own eyes." On hearing the order, everyone could not help but praise his intelligence. What a great trick he has told, and how stupid they all are that they could not even think of such a simple thing. The noose was taken down and given to the soldiers, and they set out in search of a person around whose neck the noose could fit. First of all, they went to a fat confectioner. They thought that this man is very fat, so hopefully the noose will fit around his neck. They told him to get down. The confectioner got very frightened on seeing the government men, but a dying man could do what? He came down. The soldiers tried to put the noose around his neck, but the noose was still loose. They got disappointed and took off the noose from his neck and said, "Go, you don't deserve to be hanged. No, your neck is not as thick as this noose." In this way, they kept putting the noose around people's necks and kept trying. But the noose was very loose, so it did not fit around anyone's neck. Suddenly the soldiers saw a fat man. They were very happy to see him and started moving towards him. The man was standing at a sweet shop. The disciple had not gone to the market for 3 to 4 days. The food items in the hut had finished and he did not have any money either. So he started walking towards the market. By the time he reached the market, he had already got 3 to 4 pennies in alms. So he first went to a sweet shop. He went to the shop and asked him to weigh 500 grams of sweets. The confectioner started weighing the sweets. Suddenly the scale slipped from his hands and fell down. "What is the matter? Don't you know they are coming?" the disciple asked in fear. "Who are coming?" In the meantime, the soldiers reached there with a noose. They saw the disciple. They were very happy to see him. Soldiers said, "Wrestler, just turn your neck to this side." A soldier smiled and asked, "What is the matter?" the disciple said in surprise. "The matter is that a person was to be hanged, but the noose did not fit his neck. So our king has ordered that the person whose neck fits this noose should be hanged. We have been searching for a person since morning but have not found any person whose neck fits this noose. But now we saw you, I hope this noose will fit your neck." "But what kind of justice is this?" the disciple shouted and said. "This is the justice of our king. No one can raise his voice against it. Here everything is sold at a penny per kg by his order." The soldier said, and he signaled to his companions. The disciple was caught and the noose was put around his neck. When it was put, it fit perfectly. The soldiers were very happy to see this and took him to the prison. Now the disciple came to know why his teacher was afraid of staying here. But what could be gained by repenting now? After putting him in the prison, the king was informed that a man has been found whose noose fits around his neck. The king was very happy to hear this news. He at that very moment ordered that he should be hanged tomorrow at the crossroads of the city. The disciple started remembering his teacher's words very badly. Now listen to the teacher. When the teacher left this city, he was very sad because this city had taken away his disciple. He roamed from city to city and village to village. He lived on whatever food he could find. And the next day he would again go to beg. His days were passing like this when one day he suddenly remembered his disciple. He thought that he should go and see how he was doing. Thinking that he was fine, he headed towards this city. After walking all day and all night, he entered the city and reached the place where he had stayed. At this place he saw a hut, but his disciple was not present inside it. He started looking for him towards the city square. On the way, he saw everyone moving towards the square. He asked a man why all these people were going towards the square. He told him that today a man would be hanged at the square. All these people were going to see the same spectacle. He also started moving towards the square. He saw 7 to 8 soldiers coming from one side. With them was a fat, healthy man in chains. When the teacher saw this fat man, he could not recognize him. When he came close, the disciple's eyes fell on his teacher. He shouted, "Teacher!" The teacher's ears perked up. Now when he looked at the fat man carefully, he recognized him and said in surprise, "It is you." "Yes, teacher. How did you reach this condition?" The disciple narrated the whole incident. The teacher got into thinking after hearing this. Then he came close to the disciples' ears. The teacher took his mouth and said, "Now there is only one way to save you, what is that?" The disciple asked happily, "When you are about to be hanged, I will say hang me, then you must say hang me, I did not understand anything." The disciple was surprised and said, "Do what I have told you, it is my job to save you, very good." The disciple became happy and walked till the crossroads. The disciple was made to stand on the hanging platform. The noose was hanging in front of his eyes. He was scared to see it that his teacher might fail to save him. At last the king's carriage came. People shouted slogans in joy on seeing it. The king stood at his right place. The king cast glance at the entire gathering and said in a loud voice, "At last, we will not be able to save such a man. We have succeeded in getting it. The one around whose neck this noose fits. Now I order that he be hanged." Hearing this, the executioner took the noose in his hand and started putting it around the disciple's neck. At the same time the teacher shouted loudly, "Wait, don't hang him, hang me instead." There was silence in the entire gathering. The executioner's hands stopped. The king stood up and everyone turned around to look at the teacher, who was coming out of the gathering towards the gallows. "Who are you? And how dare you interfere in government work?" the king asked. "Hang me instead of him," the teacher said. "No, your majesty, don't do this cruelty, hang me only," the disciple said. "Never, hang me only," the teacher said. Their argument continued and everyone was surprised. Till today I had not seen a man who insisted on getting himself hanged, and here there were two such men. The king was astonished. At last he shouted and asked, "What is the matter? Why do you want to get hanged?" "Why should you leave him alone and hang me?" said the teacher. The king was surprised and asked, "Why are you both so anxious to get hanged?" The king's anxiety was increasing. Other people were also standing with bated breath. The teacher started telling, "The fact is that, your majesty, today is a very auspicious day. Whoever gets hanged today will go straight to heaven. Therefore, one has to die one day. Therefore, hang me instead of this fat man." On hearing this, noise was heard from all sides in the court. The minister said, "I am the minister here, therefore, hang me so that I can go straight to heaven. I should go to heaven." The king looked at him in surprise. At the same moment many other people shouted, "I should be hanged. I should be hanged." The king was confused as to whom to hang and whom not to. The disciple sometimes looked at his teacher in surprise and sometimes at the crowd and was feeling happy in his heart. The king silenced the crowd with a gesture of his hand and said, "I am the most deserving, I am your king. That is why today by being hanged I will go to heaven." Everyone was surprised who could do what before the king. Everyone kept watching the king go to the gallows till he climbed up on the gallows. He signaled the fat man to come down. The disciple came down thanking God. The king ordered the executioner to bring a new noose, which could fit around the king's neck. The king was hanged. People were watching the scene of the king's hanging with great amazement that their king was going straight to heaven. Taking advantage of this opportunity, both the teacher and the disciple quietly came out of the court and thanked God. Friends, how did you like this story? Please express your opinion in the comments and subscribe to our channel for watching the video. Thank you very much.